I want you to picture this. You're in a room with about 50 other people. There are slides on a screen, and a computer scientist is on stage. She's about to tell a story that she was so desperate to hear that the very first time she told it, she cried. A story about a time when computers were women. So where does a story like this even begin? Well, for her, it started with a single, really frustrating argument. After a colleague just completely dismissed her expertise and started spouting all this nonsense about AI taking over the world, she was hit with this question. And her response? Oh, it was perfect. Direct, confident, and just dead on. Because, as it turns out, she knows a whole lot. And that one moment, it lit a fire. Yeah, that argument wasn't just an argument. It was the spark. It led to this personal vow that would completely change the way she thought about her work. So let's just get this out of the way. What does she know about it? Well, she's a computer scientist. She has a PhD in AI. She was building these systems way before it was cool. She even represented an entire country, Switzerland, in an AI competition way back in 1997. So, yeah, she knows a lot. So this ding-dong, this heated moment where she was just brushed aside by someone who had no idea what they were talking about, that became a turning point. She realized she couldn't just sit back and stay silent anymore. And this was her new mission. Super simple, but incredibly powerful. Number 1, speak up, correct the misinformation. And number 2, become a voice that people could actually trust on AI. Because she's seen how the sausage is made. She knows how it works from the inside. So as she started putting together her very first talk, she went back, way back to the beginning. And the history she found was not the history that she or any of us really were ever taught. She found this incredible story of forgotten pioneers. She started with the most fundamental questions. The stuff she never learned in her undergrad or even her postgrad studies. When was the first computer really built? And who built it? The answer she thought she knew was just completely wrong. See, she'd always just assumed that women were a minority in computing because, well, that was her reality. She was one of only 8 women in a class of 90 men. But the actual history books, when you really dig in, they tell a totally different story. Now just look at this timeline. It is absolutely staggering. It kicks off in the 1840s with Ada Lovelace, the world's first programmer. You jump to the 1940s and you have 6 women who literally invent the job of a programmer. By the 50s, Grace Hopper is making it so computers can understand English. And then in the 60s, just women software engineers writing the code that put a man on the moon. No big deal. And the list, it just keeps going. The first personal computer, a woman. The very act of coding, compilers, flowcharts, the whole concept of software engineering, all pioneered by women. These aren't minor footnotes in history. This is the bedrock of the entire field. Which brings us to the most important question of all. Staring at all this evidence, she had the exact same thought we're probably all having right now. Why didn't I know this? Why has this history been completely erased? And as she started to weave these incredible stories into her talks, something really profound started to happen. It became more than just a history lesson. It became deeply and unexpectedly personal. And this right here, this realization hit her while she was on stage. Every story she was telling, every forgotten name she was bringing to light, it wasn't just for the audience. She was rewriting her own story. She was connecting herself to this powerful legacy she never even knew she had. She was, in her own words, talking herself back into a place of belonging. And that just tells you everything, doesn't it? It shows you how powerful, how necessary this discovery was for her. This was a story she was so desperate to hear, to feel a part of, that sharing it for the very first time moved her to tears. Right there, on stage. Now, this personal journey into the past isn't just a history lesson. It has massive implications for how we see technology, especially AI, right now. Because when you erase the people who created something, you lose all the context. You lose their perspective. The past isn't just the past. It's the lens we use to see the present. So let's just demystify AI for a second, okay? The myth is that it's this self-aware, sci-fi intelligence, some force of nature that's out of our control. But the reality? It's a tool. It's a tool that we created with settings that we control. It is not the weather. We are not powerless against it. And hey, if you need any more proof, just look at Google getting all worked up about their algorithmic settings being stolen. That's the secret sauce. If AI was some kind of magical, self-creating being, they wouldn't be worried about somebody copying the settings. It's a tool. It's a product. It's a business.
And this leads to her central point, maybe the most important takeaway of all. The state of our technology, with all of its biases, all of its problems, it's not happening in a vacuum. It is a direct reflection of the society that creates it.
So the logic is pretty clear then, right? If you want to make a better world, you have to build better technology. And if you want to build better, more fair, more humane technology, you absolutely need more women and more diverse voices of all kinds at the table making the calls. I mean, just imagine what problems in AI today might not even exist if the foundations had been built by everyone. But this isn't just about pointing out what's wrong. It's about actively building the solution. It's about creating a new kind of table, one where everybody feels like they belong.
And this is the vision for that future. It's about creating safe spaces where people can learn without feeling like they're going to look stupid, where you can actually understand what AI can and can't do and feel empowered by that knowledge. The goal is simple, really, to know enough to know that you absolutely belong in this conversation.
So we're not going to end with a statement. We're going to end with an invitation. This isn't just a story for you to listen to, it's a conversation that needs you. So I'm asking you, what do you need? What do you want to know? Because your voice, your questions, that's what's going to shape this next chapter.